Oh, hi. Let's start learning. You ready? Okay, we're doing exponent rules. These are things that you probably maybe were taught at one point, but definitely forgot. So we're going to go through them slowly and with feeling. Ready? Okay. Number one, if I multiply two things together with different powers, I can add up the powers together as long as the base is the same. So multiplication here means adding the powers. Here's an example. So if I did 4 to the second times 4 to the seventh, that would be 4 to the ninth. Here's why. Okay, because I'm doing 4 times 4, that's 4 squared, times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. That's 7. There's 7 here and 2 here, which means that in total there are 9 total 4s multiplied together. So that's 4 to the ninth. The 4 stays the same. Okay, we're good. Continue. Okay, now I'm doing powers to powers. So x to the a to the b is a cool wrap, and it's also x to the a times b. Here's the example. I really don't want to write this out, but if I do 4 to the third to the seventh, I'm doing 4 times 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 4 7 times. I don't know. And that means that there's 21 total 4s all multiplied together. So again, this base doesn't change. It just becomes 4 to the 21st power. Here's another one. When I have division, I subtract. So if I have x to the a over x to the b, I really have x to the a minus b. I should have done that a long time ago. I'm so sorry. Okay, so here's my example for that. So I have 4 12s on top and I have 12 4s on top and 5 4s on bottom. I can cancel out 5 of those and I'll be left with 7. Again, the 4 doesn't change. It looked like a 9, now it's fat, sorry. Okay, so if I have a power outside of parentheses, I can distribute it inside. So I get x to the a and y to the a multiplied together. Here's an example. So I have 4x to the third, that would be 4 to the third times x to the third, or x cubed, like we usually say. Also, I'm not going to write it, but this is the same thing if it's division. I'm going to distribute the power to everything. Okay. Now, these are the 4 rules that you totally already learned but absolutely forgot. The next couple are ones that you don't know yet. They're new. Okay, so the first one's about fraction powers. If I have a fraction power, it's the same as an nth root. I can also merge this together with fraction powers and powers inside. So this would be x to the m over n. Let's do an example. Okay, so if I have the cubed root of x, that's the same thing as x to the 1/3. If I have the cubed root of x to the power of 4, that'd be x to the 4/3. Okay, cool. Got this. We got this. Okay. Last thing maybe is that negative powers make fractions. And negative fractions make powers that are positive. It's fine. So if I have x to the negative something, then it's 1 over x to the positive version of that. Let's do an example. Okay, so like x to the negative 3 is the same thing as 1 over x to the third. Here's the opposite version of that too. If I had 1 over x to the negative n, that would be x to the n. So if I had 1 over x to the negative 3, that would be the same thing as x to the third. So negatives become fractions and vice versa. Like negative fractions become positive non-fractions. That's the hard one for people, and I'm not sure I'm making myself clear here. So let's do some examples. Literally 0 times in my life have I done an example like this where there's a little box around it. Oh well. Okay, so let's start with something basic. Not easy, but basic. 2x to the 4th times 6x to the 7th. Okay, the key here is that the normal size numbers are still the normal thing you would do as long as they don't have powers attached to them. So this is 2. Basically, it's like 2 times x to the 4th times 6 times x to the 7th because the 2 doesn't have a power and the 6 doesn't have the power. These are only attached to the x's. If they did have the power, there'd be parentheses around it, and this would be a completely different problem. Okay, so what I can do is I can take the normal size numbers and I can put them in front. And then I'm going to take the x's with the powers and put them next to each other. I don't need to show every single step of this, but I'm going to just so it helps you. But you don't have to show every step. You can skip to like every other step. Okay, so 2 times 6 is 12. That's just normal math. That's nothing crazy. And then when I have multiplication with powers, I add up the powers. This will be 12x to the 11th. Not too bad. Okay, let's do the same one, but with parentheses, because I said that that's different. So let me actually show you why. So let's do example 2. So let's do 2x to the 4th times 6x to the 7th. It's going to be gross. It's fine. It'll be fine. We're got this. We're got this. We're got this. Okay, so if I'm going to do both of these things to the power of 4. So it'll be 2 to the 4th times x to the 4th times 6 to the 7th times x to the 7th. Okay, so 2 to the 4th is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 again is 8, times 2 one more time is 16. 6 to the 7th, I don't know off the top of my head. Hold on. Beep, boop, boop. Here's how you do powers in calculators. So press the 6, and then do this little power button over here above the squared, and then press in the number you want. So 6 to the power 7th is 279,936. Obviously. Okay. Now I need to multiply these two together. I'm going to zoom out one more time so I can actually make this even. Okay. So I'm going to multiply these two together because they're going to go together in front. So 16 times that answer is 4,478,976. And then it'll be x to the 11th again. So see how those are different? It didn't change the x's because it was the same both times, but it did change the number in front, the coefficient, if you will. Okay, let's step it up. Okay, we're going to try 8y to the 6th over 4y squared. Now, I'm going to treat these like separate things again. So it's actually more like 8 times y to the 6th and then 4 times y to the 2nd. And I'm going to treat these kind of like separate fractions. I'm going to only do the things that match. So 8 over 4 is just 2. Divide by 4, it's 2. And then when I do y to the 6th over y to the 2nd, I'm going to subtract the powers. So I actually get y to the 4th. Cool. Okay, let's try a little bit step up. Somebody's banging on something. I don't know what it is, but it's going to be fine. We're good. Okay, so again, I'm going to treat these like separate things. So this is like x to the 8th over x squared times y to the 4th over y. There's no power here, but we're going to pretend like it's a 1 because it'll confuse you if you just leave it as 0. So anything to no power is 1. If it has no power, it's gone, basically. So, okay, subtract. So this is x to the 6th times y to the 3rd. Or we don't need the times in there, but that's the answer. Okay, now, none of these involved what I actually need to teach you that's new. So I'm going to put example 5 right in here, which hurts my heart a little bit, but it's fine. I'm not going to redo any of this. Okay, so I'm going to leave, okay, so 3 a to the 15th, b to the 9th, over 5, a to the 10th, b to the 12th. That's what we're going to do next. Okay, so I'm going to separate these. So I'm going to do, oh, sorry, that's a 15. So this is 3 over 15 times a to the 15th over a to the 10th times b to the 9th over b to the 12th. Okay. Ugh, you guys, or y'all, I don't know your gender yet. Okay, I'm just going to put this over here. So 3 and 15 simplify to 1/5. I almost said 1/3. And then this would be a to the 5th. And then this will be b to the -3 because 9 minus 12 is a negative. So to put this all back together again, I actually have a fraction. So I have, the only things on top are 1 and a to the 5th. So we'd only need the a to the 5th. And then on the bottom is the 5 and the b cubed. Because again, a -3 is the same thing as b on the bottom with a +3. I'm going to be super honest with you. I paused the video and I'm not sure when. I'm going to watch this again. If it was during this time, I'm going to redo this. But if it's not, I think we're good. So all I was saying to myself apparently was that right next to where you found this video are these notes. It's a blue circle. Below it is your practice. So do the book assignment. The little yellow book icon is the actual textbook. So you can click that link and it'll open for you. And then in the corner by that is a key. So you can check your work on the key. Next class, we're going to do more practice on this. I don't know if I said that to you or not because I paused it at some point. And then below it is the prove it. So you're going to do your exit ticket by next Wednesday. So let me know if you have any questions. I'm here for you.